Good morning, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jenn B, and you're tuned in to the show of the land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Today, we are going to talk some basketball with the 30-4 Cleveland Cavaliers, and we'll touch on the G League Cleveland Charge. We have a little bit of news about the Cleveland Guardians. Then we'll get into some hockey with the 4th place Columbus Blue Jackets and the Cleveland Monsters. Then we will talk some Browns football. What's going on in Cleveland football? Nothing good. Nothing good. Then we will wrap things up with some college football. And last but not least, the Cleveland Crunch have opened their 2025 season. So we will talk about them a bit too. So stay right here and we will get things started right after some messages from our sponsors. This is Jenn B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, let's get things rolling. This is Jenn B, and you are tuned in to the show of the land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you are tuned in on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And you can catch me on X at Show of the Land IE and on IG, Threads, and Blue Sky at Believe Land Girl and on TikTok at Jen.BelieveLand. How about those Cavs? Unfortunately, not much we could talk about with some of these other teams we've got going on, but the Cavs, we could talk about the Cavs, right? Give a quick shout out to the chat room. We have Ralph Calise. He says, good morning and Happy New Year. Have a great show. Thank you, Ralph, and Happy New Year to you. And he says, I'm not dealing with things well today. Yes, the Steelers sadly lost to, well, not sadly for me, but sadly for Ralph, lost to the Cincinnati Bengals last night. That was a weird one. That was a very odd game. It started out with Cincinnati kind of dominating, and then the second half looked like neither team really wanted to win. Shout out to Rick Keeler. He is the host of our New York show. Oh, and Ralph is the host of our Pittsburgh show, if you didn't get that from his comments. The Yinzer Report, you can catch him on Friday evenings. And Ricky does the New York show, New York State of Sports, on Tuesday afternoons, I think he is right now. And we've got Larry B saying, go Mount Go. We will get to that towards the end of the show, but Mount Union is playing in the Stag Bowl tonight. And we also have Taryn Rodriguez. He says, have an amazing show. Thank you, Taryn. Oh, let's get back to Larry. So Larry is the host of our Mega 3 and Out show right now. He co-hosts that with Taryn Rodriguez, where they cover all the football from high school all the way to the NFL. So it is a great show on Saturday mornings. Check it out. They literally cover just about everything from high school through the NFL, and they have some opinions. So it's a fun show. It's usually about 2 hours on Saturday mornings, and I try and catch it every Saturday. It's so fun. Taryn is the host of Set Point, our volleyball show, and he was just tweeting yesterday about the Ohio State men's volleyball team and got their season underway. Unfortunately, they lost, but they did win one set, so that was cool. He said, "Didn't know you're live, but I'm glad you are." Yes, I was trying to go yesterday, but then the Browns game lasted like forever. And then I forgot that the Blue Jackets were also playing. So I was like, I better just do the show tomorrow or I'm going to be distracted because I don't have anything going on today until 8:03 p.m. Weird time, I know. And Rob Clee says, love Jenn B with all the show shout outs. Thank you. You are welcome. All right, let's get into those Cleveland Cavaliers. So, over this past week, they have done nothing but win. They started Monday against the Golden State Warriors, where they won 113-95. Donovan Mitchell surpassed 1,500 career threes during that game. Darius Garland, oh my gosh, here I go again, not being able to talk. Darius Garland led the charge with 25 points, and Dean Wade recorded a double-double with 10 points and a career high 13 rebounds. So shout out to Dean Wade for stepping up. Tuesday, the Cavs traveled down to LA to take on the Lakers, and they won 122-110. And if Larry's still listening, I expect some I hate the Lakers comments coming through here shortly. The Jarrett Allen led with 27 points and a double-double with 14 rebounds. Darius Garland also recorded a double-double with 14 points and 14 assists. Friday, the Cavs continued their West road trip and took on the Dallas Mavericks, and they won 134-122. Sam Merrill and Isaac Okoro were both out for that game. Sam Merrill has an ankle injury, and Isaac Okoro is still recovering from his sprained AC joint in his shoulder. Have not seen any updates. He was supposed to be reevaluated this past week, but it could likely be because the Cavs were traveling this whole week. So we'll probably, hopefully, get an update over the next week or so as they come back to Cleveland. But Evan Mobley led the team with 34 points and a double-double that included 10 rebounds against the Dallas Mavericks. And he was the leading scorer by a lot. Like the next closest was like 16. So Evan Mobley really put the team on his shoulders for that game. We have a couple of awards to discuss. Evan Mobley was named Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month for the month of December. So congratulations to Evan Mobley. Well deserved. And Kenny Atkinson, for the second month in a row, was named Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. Congratulations to Kenny. And if you didn't see it, look for it on X. The Cavs posted a video of Donovan Mitchell calling everybody into like a little huddle at practice to tell Kenny Atkinson that he had won Eastern Conference Coach of the Year for this, or Coach of the Month for the second month in a row. It was a really cool video, and Kenny Atkinson like literally jumped into Donovan Mitchell's arms. He was so excited. It was really cute video. Next up for these fantastic Cleveland Cavaliers, tonight they will be playing the Charlotte Hornets. Wednesday, their biggest test of the season so far, they will be playing the West's leading Oklahoma City Thunder. And Thursday, they will take on the Toronto Raptors. So hopefully they can keep their winning ways going. The Oklahoma City game is probably going to be the toughest of that group, but this team is dialed in, and I can't wait to see more. The the Cavs are so fun to watch. They have actually made this horrendous Brown season more bearable because we have something else to look forward to. Now, for the Charge, they did not fare as well as the Cavs, as is generally the case. But Tuesday, they played the Greensboro Swarm and won 103-100. Jules Bernard led with 25 points and also recorded a double-double with 12 rebounds. And Farron Hunt also recorded a double-double with 21 points and 10 rebounds. Friday, they again took on the Greensboro Swarm and lost 119-109. Naquan Tomlin led with 23 points. And that was it. And there were no double doubles or anything, which is likely why they lost. Oh, that was the week in review. Whoops, forgot the banner. Next up for the Cleveland Charge, today they take on the Capital City Go-Go. Tuesday, they will again play the Capital City Go-Go, and then Friday, the Grand Rapids Gold. And hopefully they will fare better against Grand Rapids than their AHL counterpart, the Cleveland Monsters, have fared against the Grand Rapids Griffins, because eek. We'll get to that here shortly, but eek. The Griffins are the thorn in the Monsters' side. But just want to say huge, huge shout out to these two basketball teams. They are really showing out, especially the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are so much fun to watch. My husband and I have been talking about possibly going to a Charge game since it's a little less expensive than a Cavs game. And they are in a new location at Public Hall, and the pictures look amazing. Looks absolutely gorgeous. So we're thinking about checking out one of these Charge games here coming up in the next couple of months. Now for a little bit of Guardians news. Not a whole lot. Just two little things. They signed catcher Jake Anchia and right-handed pitcher Luis Frias to minor league contracts with invitations to major league spring training. Oh, I know what I was going to say about the Charge and the Cavs. If you haven't already, and even if you have, do it again. Get on, you can find the links on X under the Charge and Cavs pages, or go to, I believe it's nba.vote.com, and vote for the core four for the Cleveland Cavaliers for the All-Star game, and vote for the Charge players for the next up game that will be held during All-Star week. Imoni Bates, Farron Hunt, Jules Bernard, and Luke Travers are all very much deserving of the honors to be a part of this. So make sure you get your votes in. Donovan Mitchell was second in voting at the first update, and Evan Mobley was 10th for the front court. Donovan Mitchell second for the back court. So get your votes in for Darius, Donovan, Jarrett, and Evan. But that is going to wrap things up for the first segment of this show. I'm going to take a short break, and when I return, we will get into the hockey of it all. So stay right here with the show of the land with a Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I will be right back after this.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Law.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Welcome back to the show of the land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I just realized that I forgot to mention when I was talking about Taryn that he is also the host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, as you just heard on his lovely drop that just played. Now, back to the hockey. So, these Columbus Blue Jackets, currently 4th in the Metro Division and 1 spot out of the wild card for possible playoff contention. Not too shabby. Definitely significantly better than the last place that Adam Fantilli plays for the Blue Jackets. Adam Cardick predicted on his preview to the NHL season show. It was actually pretty funny because I was actually helping him produce that show, and he apologized to me for saying that the Blue Jackets were going to come in last place. But they are not in last place. They are in 4th. So we'll see if they can keep this going. But It's been exciting so far. I just said to Adam the other day that I'm not used to the Blue Jackets scoring so many goals. This is fun. But now for the week in review, Zach Werenski was named NHL's third star of the week for last week. So congratulations to Zach. We love our Zachy. He is having a phenomenal season. Tuesday, the Blue Jackets took on the Carolina Hurricanes and won in an exciting game. They won 4-3 in a shootout. Kirill Marchenko recorded 2 goals, and Dmitry Voronkov had a power play goal. And at the end of regulation, the game was tied at 3-3. Went to overtime, stayed tied 3-3, so it went to the shootout. Kent Johnson and Adam Fantilli scored the goals in the shootout to get the win. Thursday, the Blue Jackets took on the Detroit Red Wings and unfortunately lost 5-4. James Van Rimsdijk had 2 goals. Zach Werenski had a goal and Sean Monahan had a goal. Saturday, just last night, which is why I did not do my show last night, the Blue Jackets took on the St. Louis Blues and won 6-4. Dmitry Voronkov scored 2 goals. Kirill Marchenko had a power play goal. Mikhail Putia had a short-handed goal. Adam Fantilli had a, regular goal. And Mathieu Olivier scored a goal on the empty net at the end of the game to secure the win. It's not often that I talk about the Blue Jackets when they actually had a winning record for the week. That is exciting. This team has been really fun to watch. You should check out a game if you haven't already. Just ask our own Big Mike, host of Indie Sports Nation. He was actually at one of these Blue Jackets games, and it was one that they won. It might have been the Carolina Hurricanes game. I know it was in the last week or so. But yes, they are fun. They are fun to watch. I am hoping at some point to get down to Columbus to see one of these games. I don't know if it will happen this year because unfortunately my husband is currently out of work because his restaurant caught on fire. Yeek. No fun. But hopefully, maybe towards the end of the season or maybe next season, we can get down to Columbus for a hockey game. Next up for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Tuesday, they will take on Ralph's Pittsburgh Penguins. And Thursday, they will take on Nathan Sheets' Seattle Kraken. Nathan is the host of the Seattle Sideline. Be sure to check out his show for your Seattle sports needs. Now let's move on to the AHL and the Cleveland Monsters. The Monsters have not been faring as well this season as they did last season. But it's not all bad. It's only all bad when they play the Grand Rapids Griffins, as you will see here shortly. They did sign defenseman Grant Gabriel to a PTO. Monday, they played the Milwaukee Admirals, and they won 4-1. Owen Sillinger had a goal. Rocco Grimaldi scored 2 goals, and Damon Hunt also scored a goal. Tuesday, they played the Grand Rapids Griffins, and like I said, all bad. They lost 5-1. Luca Del Belbaluz scored the lone goal. Thursday, they again played the Grand Rapids Griffins. This was a little bit of a better game. They lost 1-0 in a shootout. So it was 0-0 for 70 minutes, and then they fell short in the shootout. and lost 1-0. So not as big of a deal as a 5-1 loss, of course. They at least got a point out of it. Last night, they played the Toronto Marlies, and they won 3-1. Stanislav Svozil started out the scoring with a goal. Gavin Brindley scored a goal, and Dylan Gambrell also scored a goal. Next up for the Cleveland Monsters, today or tonight, I don't know, I didn't put the time. I think it might be like this afternoon at like 3 or something like that. But they are taking on the Toronto Marlies once again, and then Friday they will play the Laval Rocket. And I just want to, while we're on hockey, give a quick shout out to the Ohio State Lady Buckeyes, who played at Wrigley Field against Wisconsin and won in a shootout. So congratulations to the Lady Buckeyes. They all went out on the field wearing Johnny Gaudreau jerseys to start the mat, or to start the game. Or not to start the game, but when they entered from going into the locker room to get ready, they were all wearing Johnny Gaudreau jerseys. So that was really cool. And what a fun experience. And they got the win over number 1 Wisconsin. So shout out for sure to the Lady Buckeyes. But that is going to wrap up the hockey portion of the show. I'm going to take another short break. And when I come back, we will talk about the Cleveland Browns. But then we will get into some more positive things with the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Mount Union Purple Raiders, and the Cleveland Crunch, who started their season yesterday. So stay right here with the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I will be right back after this.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold, and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the show of the land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Here we go. It's finally over. Oh, what a season. Last Sunday, the Browns played the Miami Dolphins in the last home game of the season and lost 20-3. Yes, the Miami Dolphins, who started Tyler Huntley in Cleveland. Unfortunately, the weather did not cooperate as it was like 60 degrees when the Miami Dolphins were in Cleveland. So, it is what it is. Not that I wanted the Browns to win because that would have hurt their draft position, but yeah, 20-3 to the Tyler Huntley led Miami Dolphins. Pathetic. Anyway, Jameis Winston was the inactive emergency quarterback. Myles Garrett became the first player in NFL history to have 4 consecutive seasons with 14 plus sacks. So congratulations to Myles Garrett. He is a beast. And DTR was called for not 1, not 2, but 3 intentional grounding penalties. 3! Have you ever seen such a thing? I have not. That was something. Injury updates. Boy, oh boy, do we have injury updates. Yikes. The Browns placed wide receiver Cedric Tillman on IR with a concussion and signed running back John Kelly. And then they placed running back Jerome Ford, tight end David Njoku, and running back Pierre Strong also on IR. Yikes. So half the team was on IR to start the season or to start the week. So fun stuff. But we have some good news. We have some Pro Bowlers. So the Browns Pro Bowlers are Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and Jerry Jeudy. It is Jerry Jeudy's first career Pro Bowl. Both Jerry Jeudy and Myles Garrett have been selected as starters. The Browns also have 6 alternates: Joe Bitonio, Nick Chubb, Corey Bojorquez, David Njoku, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and Wyatt Teller. Now, should any of those guys get the nod due to someone pulling out or getting injured or whatever the case may be, Nick Chubb and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah would most likely not partake as they are both on IR. I doubt Joe Bitonio would, but he might. You never know. So David Njoku also on IR, though I don't think his injury is all that serious, so he could partake. We'll see. But yeah, yikes. A lot of injuries. We also got some stadium news this week. The city of Cleveland has advised that it intends to enforce the Modell law and will begin the search for new owners if the Haslams won't comply. And my husband also mentioned to me, I have not actually seen this, but he did see it from a reputable source. So I would imagine that it is true that the city of Cleveland has made some sort of proposal to the Browns to use the land where Lake Burkfront Airport is currently located to build a new stadium and then relocate the airport to where the current stadium is so that the Browns can continue to play in the current new stadium is built and then move and swap, basically. However, the Haslams have executed the clause in the purchase agreement of the land in Brook Park to solidify the future purchase. So, doesn't sound to me like the Haslams have any interest in the city of Cleveland's offer. So, it should be getting very interesting. Not entirely what the Haslams would do with that land should the Browns remain in Cleveland, because that is a lot of land. So, this I expect this to get very interesting over the next few months, especially now that the season is over. Last night, the Browns lost to the Baltimore Ravens 35-10. Jordan Hicks, Denzel Ward, and Dalvin Tomlinson were all ruled out for the game. Mike Hall Jr. was carted off with a knee injury, and it does not sound good. So we may have no Mike Hall Jr. for a good portion of the upcoming season. So that sucks. And in some good news, Jerry Jeudy surpassed Ozzie Newsome's single season receptions record and now has the most receptions in a single season in franchise history with 90. So congratulations to Jerry Jeudy. Though the season was quite disappointing in most respects, Jerry Jeudy was a bright spot and had career numbers, his first Pro Bowl selection, and broke a franchise record all in the same season. So, congratulations to Jerry Jeudy. As Jerry Jeudy has said, it is bittersweet, but you know, it gives hope for the future. Now, what is next for these Cleveland Browns? Well, this morning, they fired offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey and offensive line coach Andy Dickerson. So, some new offensive coaches is next for the Browns. We have to see how things pan out today in today's games. But as of right now, the Browns have the 3rd overall pick in the 2025 draft. I've seen lots of different speculation. I myself do not have an opinion just yet on who I feel the Browns should take. There are a lot of people, including my husband, who think the Browns should take University of Miami quarterback Cam Ward. One of my favorite podcasters for the Browns really wants them to take, I cannot think of the guy's name, but the defensive end from Penn State. If Ralph's still in the chat, maybe he can pass me that name, because I want to say like Austin Carter or something along those lines. So, or Abdul Carter, it might be. I kind of want to see where things go with the free agents, who the Browns let go, who they re-sign, what they do in free agency before I really narrow down on who I think they should pursue in the draft. What happened to the Browns this season? Oh, this is Andre. He is the host of the NorCal Sports Show. You can check him out on Wednesday afternoons. Watson completely jinxed this team. Oh, no, Andre. This team has been jinxed since the 60s. The 60s. We have been jinxed since the 60s. This is nothing new. What happened to the Browns this season? Well, they put all their eggs in one basket. and then they dropped the basket and all the eggs broke. That's what happened to the Browns. It has not been a good season at all. They had such a good defense last season. They still had a good defense this season. Unfortunately, the offense didn't do the defense any favors and put them in really, really shitty positions a good portion of the time. And didn't stay on the field much. So a gas defense is generally not a good defense. So it they also had a lot of key injuries on the defense. They lost Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah for mid-season with a neck injury that we still don't know if he will be recovering from and returning to football. And that's another thing, speaking of the draft. What's going to happen with JOK? Is he going to return? We don't know. There hasn't been a whole lot of information released on what exactly the injury is, but there has been enough said that it sounds very scary and very touch and go. So I don't know if JOK will be back. From what I understand, he has been traveling around seeing multiple specialists for whatever it is that is wrong with his neck after that injury. So would have stuck with Flacco this season or Deshaun Watson. Me personally, I don't think Flacco is the answer. I do think that they needed to see if Deshaun Watson could get things together. This, to me, was his last shot. I don't think he should be given a shot next season. But from the sounds of it, they're going to give him one. But I also, a lot of it's going to depend on his recovery too. So, I mean, with the ACL injury towards mid-season, there's a good chance that he's not going to be ready to go come September. So, I I don't know. I do think that for given the investment that they put into Deshaun Watson, they did have to see if they could fix it. Yes, I agree. I agree, Andre. He did look completely distracted this season. He was not himself. No, I agree with that as well. Football has not been his top priority since he got to Cleveland, unfortunately. We have seen maybe 2 solid games from Deshaun Watson in 3 seasons. So, to me, he should be done. They should be done with him. I understand that with the money and all of that, they're kind of stuck with him on the roster because he's not really cuttable. I mean, I guess they could cut him and just eat the money, but and given his performance, he's not all that tradable. So, I'm not opposed to him being the backup, in all honesty. I do not think he should be the starter again unless he has some miraculous turnaround because he has proven that he can't do it. So, he is not the Deshaun Watson that played in Houston or Clemson for that matter. So, I think he's got too much on his plate and he needs to step aside and yeah, it would be the Browns' luck that he would go elsewhere and have a breakout year. Well, I mean, sometimes that's what's got to happen. In all honesty, for guys to get their shit together, they gotta go somewhere else. But a lot of times a change of scenery is what is needed. However, he has never really done anything in Cleveland other than that fantastic comeback against the Baltimore Ravens last year where he broke his shoulder. But um but yeah, I don't know. And like I said, I haven't made a decision on the draft. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to the draft. Um a lot's going to depend on what they do in the off season. What free agents they let walk, what free agents they resign, who they go after in free agency, how things play out in the combine. I'm not going to read this, but you all can read it. Oh God. Um so I will be keeping an eye on what happens, but I am glad that the Ken Dorsey experiment is now over. Thank God. I didn't like the signing when it happened, and I'm glad that it's over. I Andy Dickerson, I mean it is what it is. I don't know that he was really I think he's more of a scapegoat than anything. There were a lot of injuries on the offensive line. The offensive line is not getting any younger. And you're asking a run block pocket quarterback offensive line to overnight block for a quarterback that doesn't know how to stay in the pocket, and a run game that was non-existent because Nick Chubb was hurt. So yeah, I I don't know that Andy Dickerson wasn't a good coach. Joe Batonio had nothing but good things to say about him. Basically, what Joe Batonio said was, when the offense performs the way it does, changes have to be made. But he had nothing but respect for Andy Dickerson and has known him since he was drafted. Andy Dickerson was one of the coaches that worked him out in his pre-draft workouts. So he has known Andy Dickerson for quite some time and had nothing but good things to say about him. But he said, the NFL is a business, and when the offense doesn't perform, people lose their jobs. Unfortunately, that's just the way things go. So, it is what it is. But you know what? That's enough talking about the Browns, right? They have depressed us long enough. Time to move on to some better football, right? Some Ohio State football. The Buckeyes, the real O in the Big Ten. Thank you, Andre. I appreciate it. And be sure to check out the NorCal Sports Show to get more from Andre. His show is fantastic. All right. So Ohio State took on Oregon. And I said all week, this is a redemption game. Nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to hear it. Everybody's, Oregon's the team to beat. Oregon's going all the way. Oregon, 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 Oregon. Oregon shit the bed. Ohio State won 41-21. That's right. 41-21. They were up 34-0 at one point. Oregon did score before the half, and it was 34-8 at halftime. Jeremiah Smith and Cody Simon were named the Rose Bowl MVPs. Jeremiah Smith offensive, Cody Simon defensive. Personally, I would have given the offensive to Will Howard because Jeremiah Smith wouldn't have gotten what he got without Will Howard. And Will Howard played one hell of a game. And it was very interesting. During the game, the announcers were talking about how Will Howard responded after Ohio State lost to Oregon in the regular season. That poor kid beat himself up. He could not believe that he allowed the clock to expire so that they could not kick the game-winning field goal. And his mom actually ended up flying from, I think they said Portland to Columbus to be with him because he was beating himself up that badly. So obviously he learned from it because he balled out against Oregon. So what's next for the Buckeyes? Next Friday, the 10th, the Buckeyes will take on the Texas Longhorns in Arlington in the Cotton Bowl. So, go Buckeyes. But before that, tonight, the Mount Union Purple Raiders will be participating in the Division III Stag Bowl against North Central. The game is on ESPN at 8:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will probably be watching it on my phone because my husband is so pumped about this Vikings-Lions game that I don't think he's going to let me watch it on the big TV. But I might just go in another room and watch it on TV because I would rather watch the Mount Union game because I don't care about the Vikings and the Lions. Sure, it's going to be a good football game, but so is the Mount Union North Central game. And I care about Mount Union. So I will be watching Mount Union. Oh, shoot. The Cavs play tonight, too. Man, this is going to be interesting. I might have to, when my husband gets up, I might have to have him move a TV so we can have 2 TVs in the living room. Because we have 3 TVs in the house. So we might have to move another one of them, or maybe all 3 of them, into the living room so we can have all 3 games going at the same time. Ugh. Why do they do this? Why? Why? I mean, I guess the Cavs game's not all that important. They're just playing the Charlotte Hornets, and they are 30-4. But, ugh. Man. All right, that's enough football before I get myself all worked into a tizzy. Let's talk some soccer. We have the Cleveland Crunch started their season out yesterday, and I'm just going to start this out by saying they played Summit City FC. This is Summit City FC's first year in the MLIS League. Those schedulers are jerks. You have this team play their first game ever against the MLIS champions who didn't lose a single single match last year. Not one. They went all the way to the championship and didn't lose. Like, come on. That's just rude. Anyway, the Crunch won 16-1. So congratulations on Summit City FC scoring their first ever goal. But that's all they scored. Omar Najar had 2 goals. Brian Rolansky had a goal. Admir Suljovic had 5 goals. Parker Cesar, Bobby Kankar each had a goal. McCain Spragling had 2 goals. Dave Jordan had 2 goals. And Antonio Manfut and Ryan Minnick both had a goal each for a total of 16 goals. Admir Suljovic was named man of the match. Of course. I mean, he had 5 goals. How could he not be? I mean, I think the only other person who could have gotten man of the match would be the goaltender because Summit FC only scored 1 goal. Poor Summit FC or Summit City FC. Poor guys. That's just cruel. That's cruel way to have them start their careers. Ugh. Anywho, you know, I know it's unusual for us to have winning teams in Cleveland, but the Crunch is a winning team in Cleveland. So, congratulations to the Crunch starting their season out right. Their next match is on January 19th against Lansing Red Cedar. That is 2 weeks from today. But that is all I have for you all today. Thank you so much for joining me on the show of the land and good luck to Union Purple Raiders as they take on North Central tonight. We'll see what happens with the Browns. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more news coming out as the days go on. Oh, the Monsters play tonight too, so good luck to the Monsters as they take on the Toronto Marlies and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, and the Cleveland Charge play tonight as well. Cleveland Charge, good luck against Capital City Go-Go, and Cleveland Cavaliers kick some Hornets booty. It has been a pleasure. I will catch you all next Saturday, most likely. This is Jenn B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thank you once again for joining me. And like I said, I will catch you next weekend.